She was born into enslavement. Both her parents were already enslaved and working on a plantation in Maryland. What does enslavement mean? Enslavement is when someone is forced to work for another person without being paid and doesn't have the freedom to leave. It means being treated like property rather than as a free individual with rights and choices. Enslaved people often endured difficult conditions and were not allowed to make decisions about their own lives. Unfortunately, due to her enslaved status, there are no official records of Harriet's birth, but it is generally believed to be around 1822. Harriet Tubman faced hardships and demonstrated resilience from a young age. Born into slavery, she took on the responsibility of caring for her younger siblings while her mother worked. At just 6 years old, she was hired out as a nursemaid and experienced cruelty from a family that would whip her if the baby she cared for cried. Slavery and Harriet Tubman. On September 17, 1849, Harriet Tubman, along with her two brothers, Ben and Harry, made a brave getaway. Unfortunately, her brothers later decided to go back to being enslaved, and Harriet had no choice but to return with them. Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad. Harriet Tubman was determined to break free from enslavement and decided to escape once more, this time on her own. To achieve this, she utilized a system known as the Underground Railroad. This wasn't an actual underground train. It was a network of free Black people, enslaved individuals, and supportive white allies. This metaphorical railroad allowed enslaved people to plan their escape and travel from one safe location to another, seeking shelter from those associated with the Underground Railroad system during their journey to freedom. Harriet likely traveled through Delaware into Pennsylvania, covering the journey on foot, which could last between 5 days and 3 weeks. During this journey, she had to be cautious to avoid capture, relying on the assistance of the conductors of the Underground Railroad. In the 11 years following her escape, Harriet Tubman returned to Maryland at least 12 times, rescuing over 70 enslaved individuals, including her brothers and their families. She also provided guidance to other enslaved people on how to escape. Harriet earned the name Moses for her remarkable efforts, drawing a parallel to the biblical prophet who led the Hebrews to freedom. One of her final missions into Maryland occurred in 1857, where she rescued her elderly parents from racial intolerance. Harriet Tubman's legacy. Harriet Tubman's groundbreaking contributions were recognized during her lifetime, but her status as an American icon became firmly established after her passing. In 1920, the Harriet Tubman Home Museum was established in her residence in Albany. Numerous schools and streets were named after her, and in 2014, even an asteroid was named in her honor. That's all for now. For more information and resources related to Harriet Tubman,